Hello, friends from across the nation and around the world. I'm Martin, and you are listening to Dad's Bedtime Stories. Tonight, we're headed back into the Spaceship universe for a little story based on this suggestion.
Hi, Martin. My name is Riley, and I live in London, Ontario, Canada, and I want a story about a French fry planet where there's big salts, and they want to take them and take over the world and take them to a really good place. Bye, I love your podcast.
Great suggestion, Riley. I am quite happy to do a French fry planet. And, I actually grew up in London, Ontario. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. I'm not where I live now, but I did spend a lot of time there until I was about 11. However, I will say that I'm not entirely sure who them is in the story suggestion, so hopefully this story goes the way you wanted it to. Before we get started, I just have a couple shoutouts to give for my latest Patreon sponsors. Thank you to Jessa and Phoenix. I really appreciate the support, Jessa and Phoenix. Next up, thank you to Seb, Amma, and Liam for listening and supporting me on Patreon. Thank you to Nicole, Charlotte, and Ezra. Apparently I did one of Ezra's suggestions in the past about Barkley, the stuffed dog who got lost in the mail, or got lost and returned by the mailman, I think is what it actually was. Thank you to Braden and Braden's anonymous parent who probably signed up to Patreon. Really appreciate the support there too. And last, thank you to Oslo, Greta, and AJ. Patreon is absolutely the lifeblood of the podcast right now, so every donation is very much appreciated, but there are lots of ways to support. You can also rate us and review us. You can share us with a friend, or you can buy one of the books that was probably advertised at the beginning. Some people were having trouble finding them, and I would suggest that if you're not in Canada, the best way is to go on Amazon and search for Cards of Power by Martin Gage or Wizardcraft 2.0 by Martin Gage, because I think the link I posted is a Canadian link. But you can, in fact, get them, I think, in any country where there is Amazon. So there you go. Now, it's that time again.
If you're a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility and your machinery isn't working right, Grainger knows you need to understand what's wrong as soon as possible. So when a conveyor motor falters, Grainger offers diagnostic tools like calibration kits and multimeters to help you identify and fix the problem. With Grainger, you can be confident you have everything you need to keep your facility running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Time to close your eyes, get as comfy as you can in that bed, and imagine yourself doing what the kid in the story does. You wake up on Spaceship. You get out of bed, head out to the main living area where you find a living room, kitchen, toy area, and, of course, the control center to the ship. Good morning, Spaceship, the artificial intelligence that runs and, well, basically is the ship, says. I have put us in orbit around a very interesting planet. I know that you enjoy edible planets or food planets of many different kinds. I have just discovered a planet that is abundant in French fries. A French fry planet? You respond. How does that even happen? Well, in an infinite universe, we must assume there are an infinite number of planets and an infinite number of possibilities. One of those possibilities is a French fry planet. I've seen weirder. Anyways, let's go check it out. You jump in the control seat and grab a hold of the controls, a little joystick-like lever that steers the spaceship. You angle the ship down towards the planet and press forward on the throttle. Soon you blast through the atmosphere and appear just above the clouds. You steer the ship down below them until you see an amazing landscape. A landscape made entirely, or almost entirely, of French fries of all different shapes and sizes. There's lakes of boiling French fry grease, with French fries just sort of floating along in them before washing up on shore. There's geysers that look like they're shooting out salt, and geysers that look like they're shooting out ketchup and other kinds of sauces you can't quite identify. You wonder for a moment exactly how the French fries are created. After all, aren't French fries just chopped up and fried potatoes? And then you see the answer. You fly over a field of what look like potatoes that are growing out of the ground instead of in the ground like they actually do. Attached to each potato plant is something that looks a lot like a French fry cutter, a large circular device with blades throughout it, only these ones seem to be natural. These above-ground potatoes grow at a rapid rate, so quickly that you can actually see the potatoes expanding. When they get to their full size, the plant shoots them up through the potato cutter, and they land in a lake of French fry grease before floating over and washing up on a nearby shore that is, covered in French fries. You locate a good spot to land, somewhere where not too many French fries have piled up. You pull back on the control lever and you press a landing button. The landing gear comes out of the ship and the ship slowly and gently lands on the ground with a little clunk and a hiss. The back door to the ship opens up, and immediately the whole thing is filled with a beautiful scent. The scent of cooking French fries. You take in a deep breath, and suddenly you're feeling very hungry. You see Changer on the couch suddenly become alerted to the scent. He jumps up and runs to the floor beside you. He begins barking and wagging his little tail, gesturing for you to get going on this adventure. "It's okay, buddy. You can go," you say. With that, Changer, your shape-shifting dog who is currently in the shape of an earth puppy, runs outside. He sniffs a gigantic French fry and bites it. Spaceship, are these French fries safe to eat?" you ask. "Yes, it seems that they are free of any bacteria, and the planet keeps them at the perfect temperature. Though based on the cooking method and the placement of the various French fries, I imagine some will taste better than others." You walk out of the ship and start to look around. Piles of French fries everywhere. A salt geyser suddenly explodes, shooting salt up into the air and raining down on all of the French fries around you. Some piles of French fries look a little overcooked. Some look far too big to eat, but others look like your favorite kind of French fries. You kneel down, take in a big whiff, and reach out and grab a pile of them. They're perfectly salted right here. They smell delicious, they're still warm, and they're still crunchy on the outside. You bite into the French fries and the most wonderful taste fills your mouth. They taste like the best French fries you've ever had in your life. Wow. You and Changer continue to eat, bite after bite after bite. Though Spaceship's right, and some of the French fries are sort of over-salted, too near to the geyser. Others are undersalted, and others are kind of burnt. They're not perfect everywhere, but it would be hard to go hungry on a planet like this. All of a sudden, you feel a strange vibration underneath your feet. "Oh no," you say, pressing the button on your watch, causing your high-tech spacesuit armor to fold out around your body. You'd know that rumble anywhere. It's the exact same rumble you felt on many other planets, right before a weird creature pops out and, well, attacks you. Luckily, you have your spacesuit armor on and you're pretty sure you're impervious for most attacks. The ground continues to rumble, and something really weird and blob-like pops out of it. A huge pile of grease or something? "Spaceship, what's that?" you ask, analyzing. It seems that this particular creature is primarily made up of trans fat. Somehow it has gained sentience, likely due to the large abundance of trans fat in the French fry cooking oil. Any ideas on how to deal with a big trans fat creature? You ask. Yes, number 1. Ensure it is actually hostile. It looks pretty hostile to me, you respond. Excellent. Number 2. We could try using freeze rays, or perhaps a cleaning solution that cuts away on grease. You mean like dish detergent or something like that? Yes, that could potentially work. Calibrating your spacesuit for a dish soap cannon now. The trans fat creature pulls itself all the way up onto the surface of the planet. But more rumbling continues. More creatures pull themselves up, each one a huge blob of trans fat with arms and legs that are sort of made of liquid. One of the creatures shoots its arm out towards you, a huge stream of trans fat-filled grease. You jump out of the way easily, using your spaceship's thrusters, and take to the air. Are you ready with that cannon yet? You ask Spaceship. Almost, Spaceship replies. Hold off for a little longer. The creatures continue to blast trans fat-filled grease towards you, and you continue to dodge left and right, up and down, until you hear another sound. The sound of voices. You look over your left shoulder, and you see a whole bunch of creatures flying towards you. Creatures that look like gigantic clumps of salt. And somehow they're flying on discs that also look like they're made of salt. "All right, everyone, you know the drill," one of the salt creatures says. "Let's surround them, gather the salt, and hit them with everything we've got." The salt creatures suddenly surround the entire area, hundreds of them, each floating on a disc of salt. They begin to wave their hands around in the air, and the salt from the geysers and the salt from the French fries somehow, almost magically, lifts up into the air and starts to move around. Are these salt benders or something like that? You ask. Interesting, Spaceship responds. The creatures in question seem to be made almost entirely out of salt, surrounding a carbon-based skeletal structure. And you seem to be right. They also have the ability to connect with the salt itself, command it, and redistribute its properties. They are, in fact, salt benders. You watch in amazement as all of the little salt benders gather salt together in little spears of salt and then begin firing it towards the trans-fat monsters. The salt hits the monsters, but sort of dissipates inside them. Arrow after arrow after arrow, they bombard the creatures with as much salt as possible. All right, stage 2, everyone. Warriors, to your spots. At that, 10 of the salt-bending creatures jump off of their little discs of salt, performing a perfect front flip and landing on top of the French fries. Salt continues to spin through the air and gathers around the 10 salt benders. It creates a sort of exoskeleton around the creatures, a large body, turning each one of them into a much larger salt creature with huge arms and huge legs. Each one now looks like a salt monster of their own. Ready? Charge! The leader yells, and the salt benders, covered in a new layer of salt armor, rush forward and begin to engage with the trans-fat grease creatures in hand-to-hand combat. They strike the creatures with fists and legs and kicks. Each time, their skeletal structure gets a little bit smaller, leaving a whole bunch of salt behind, floating inside the grease creatures, until their entire larger bodies are gone once again. One by one, they summon another disc of salt, jump up in the air, this time performing a perfect backflip, landing on the discs and floating out of range. That should be enough salt content. Now, everyone together! Every single one of the salt benders takes a perfect martial arts stance. They reach their hands out towards the trans-fat creatures as if they're striking them, and then something very strange starts to happen. The creatures start to float up into the air. Interesting, Spaceship says. It seems these salt benders have infused as much salt as possible into the sentient grease creatures, allowing them to now control their bodies. What? You respond as you watch the grease creatures float up in the air. Then they're suddenly all slammed together into a huge pile. Then, as the salt benders take a different stance, move in a different motion, the salt suddenly crystallizes, trapping the creatures inside in some kind of crystalline salt jail. All right, everyone. Good job. Perfectly executed. Now to figure out who this guy is. The leader then flies over in front of you. The others gather around him and surround you on all sides. Welcome, stranger. You don't seem to be from around here, so let me introduce myself. My name's Captain Salty, and I'm the leader of the Salt People. Who are you? I'm just a traveler, you respond, and this is my friend Spaceship. He's a spaceship, you say, pointing over to your ship. Hello, nice to meet you, Spaceship adds. Now, what are you doing here? Captain Salty inquires. Well, we're just here kind of exploring. We saw that you have an entire planet made of French fries, and I was kind of hungry, so I came down for a meal. And that's when those grease people or whatever they are attacked.
Ah, yes. You must watch out for the trans fat creatures. They can get a little carried away around here. One of the side effects of living on a French fry planet, of course. Well, if you're here for a meal, I think you should follow us. The seasoning around these parts is simply random, but we salt people have perfected things. Want a ride?
A little disc of salt floats over beside you. Now, you can fly without it, but you're too intrigued to not try it out. You float over to the disc and land on top of it.
Follow us,
Captain Salty says, and then he blasts off, carrying your little disc of salt with him. You try your best to balance as the disc of salt shoots forward. It feels like you're riding on some sort of hoverboard or something like that. It doesn't take too long before you get the hang of it. You fly over more fields of French fries, more fields of strange potato plants that cut themselves into French fries, and lake upon lake of French fry grease, until you see something amazing in the distance. Something that looks like a castle. A bright white castle that's built entirely out of salt, if you were to make a guess. Around the outside of the structure is a huge wall made of, well, also salt, with reinforcements of burnt old French fries, of course. Surrounding the castle, inside of the walls, are a whole bunch of other salt structures. Salt houses, salt stands, and a whole bunch of salt people walking around on the streets living their best salt person life, trading for things at the store, floating around on salt hoverboards, that sort of thing.
Welcome to Salt City,
Captain Salty says.
The capital for us salt people. We are kind of its military, for lack of a better word.
It's amazing, you say.
You think this is great? Just wait until you see what I'm gonna show you next.
You fly just past the Salt Castle and the Salt City until you come to another lake of French fry grease.
This is our own personal French fry production zone,
Captain Salty says.
It's our goal to take over this entire planet, to get rid of all of the trans fat creatures, and to organize the place into a well-oiled machine. This here is our prototype. We've done some work to sort of redesign the area to create perfectly seasoned French fries. Just watch.
You float high above the potato plants, which you're still surprised are out of the ground instead of in the ground, but you've seen weirder. The potato plants shoot themselves through the fry cutters and land directly inside the lake of boiling French fry grease.
Now, we've reformed this lake to be just the perfect size, with just the perfect flow rate. Just long enough to cook all of the French fries to a perfect crisp.
You watch as the fries land in the oil and slowly start to float over towards the castle.
Then, we extract the fries before they get overcooked. Watch.
You move over to the other side of the grease lake, where another group of salt people are using spears of salt to sort of lift the french fries up out of the lake and into a huge basket made of potato slices. It seems to take a ton of salt people, but they get the french fries out pretty quickly until the entire potato basket is filled.
Next up, we go through seasoning. Most of the fries around here get a random amount of salt and seasoning, just depending on where they wash up on shore. But we like to take a little control over the process.
You watch as the potato basket is lifted up off of the ground using a whole bunch of little salt discs. The salt benders floated over towards a salt geyser, where another group of salt benders are swirling the salt around in the air. As the basket passes by, they hit it with a sudden blast of salt.
Just the right amount is added before it's delivered back to the Salt City.
You float along following the basket as it's dropped off in front of the castle. There, another group of workers moves the fries into individual and smaller potato baskets, almost like miniature French fry boxes, only made entirely out of slices of potato. They then get redistributed throughout the city where hungry salt creatures can eat them.
And that's pretty much it. The prototype for an ideal world on the salt planet once we salt creatures fully take over. Now, before you go, you gotta try some.
You float down towards the huge basket of potatoes, where another one of the salt people is filling it up with French fries. Captain Salty grabs a hold of one of the little French fry baskets and passes it over towards you.
Here, try 'em out. I bet they're 10 times better than any of the fries you tried earlier.
You take the basket in your hand. You take a big whiff, and it smells delicious. You pick up a couple of the French fries, put them in your mouth, and chew. He's absolutely right. These are the most delicious French fries you've ever had, and this time they're perfectly seasoned with just the right amount of salt. Perfectly cooked, perfectly crispy. You realize then if anybody is gonna take over the French fry planet, these salt benders have a very good chance. Those are so good. Thank you, Captain Salty, for showing me around this place and, well, of course, for saving me from those trans fat monsters. I'm sure I could have handled them on my own, but, well, you guys seem to know what you were doing.
You're welcome, and you're welcome here on the French fry planet anytime you want. We have ample guest quarters in Salt City after all.
Thanks, but, if I imagine the beds are how I imagine they are, entirely made of salt, I think I'll stick with my spaceship.
Well, your loss. I'm not sure who wouldn't want to sleep on a bed full of salt, but, whatever.
Spaceship, you announce, ready for pickup. Spaceship appears floating above Salt City. You wave goodbye as you activate your blasters and shoot up towards the ship. The back of the ship opens up and you land inside and look around. Oh no, Changer, you realize. I forgot all about him. Tracking now, Spaceship says. Located. You and Spaceship blast back over, near the area where you were first discovered by the Salt people. You look down out of the window, and sure enough, there is Changer, only a much larger version of him, completely overstuffed with as many French fries as he wanted to eat. You land on the ground beside him and open up the hatch once again. "Come on, buddy, it's time to go," you say. Changer looks at you and then lets out a gigantic burp, a burp that seems to sort of deflate his body back to a normal size. He runs up on the ship, jumps onto the couch, and curls up into a ball before falling asleep. The doors close, spaceship rises up through the clouds, out through the atmosphere, before jumping back to super hyperdrive in search of new planets and new adventures to come. You, feeling pretty tired, deactivate your spacesuit. It folds back into your watch, and you head for the bedroom. You lay down in the bed, pull the covers up to your chin, and close your eyes. With each breath, your body begins to sink down deeper and deeper into the mattress until you feel perfectly relaxed. With each breath you take, you sink down a little bit deeper. The more you breathe, the deeper you sink, and the deeper you sink, the better you feel, until your mind begins to wander off to thoughts of new dreams and new adventures to come. Good night, everyone.